bring in Brandel Chamblee, former pro golfer on tour and Golf Channel analyst. It almost feels like he's being defiant there, Brandel. What bothered you the most about Rory?
Well, saying essentially that it doesn't matter, that golf in the Olympics doesn't matter. I think that's obviously a strong and different tone than he took when he initially said he wasn't going to play in the Olympics. He cited Zika, which is understandable. I have no problem with any of these golfers or other athletes choosing not to go to the Olympics based upon health concerns. But for him to say he wasn't going to watch because they don't matter is an insult to everybody who is going to the Olympics, who certainly does think they matter, is giving them their time and interest, and all of the people that have worked tirelessly for the betterment of golf and its inclusion into the Olympics. You know, as I said last night, golf suffers from a lot of different stigmas, and some of them are true. Golf is expensive, it's exclusionary, it's too slow, it's hard to understand the rules, and a lot of people will argue, and I've been in a few of these arguments, that golfers aren't really athletes. Mm-hmm. And here was the opportunity for, and if you look at Rory, he certainly looks like an athlete. Adam Scott, Jason Day, these guys look like athletes to me. They could stand toe-to-toe with the world's best athletes and do the game some good. I was shocked. I think that Rory will regret those comments for the rest of his life.
The other thing that Rory said that it got lost in this headline about not going to the Olympics is he was talking about drug testing, and he said that he could use HGH and probably get away with it. Now, what is he getting at here?
Well, what I, and again, reading between the lines here, he initially said he was not going to go to the Olympics because of Zika. And we live in such a caustic world when everybody can get at you through Twitter and other social media outlets. Everybody, the lowest common denominator of society, can get at you and can say disgusting things to you and make accusations towards him that I would believe would be completely unfounded. Perhaps he saw people accusing him of not being able to pass the drug test. And perhaps he was upset by the fact that the PGA Tour doesn't do the same drug testing that WADA does. And if they had, in fact, done that, then he would have already been exonerated from all of these things that people could accuse him of doing. Just by the fact that he's not going to the Olympics puts him and subjects him to criticism that, in my opinion, is unfair. But given the scandals that the world of sport has been through over the last 15 or 20 years, it's the world they live in. They're going to have to face them. If there's any lack of transparency, the world will assume that perhaps there are some underhanded dealings going on.
Wait, you think that Rory is saying, or that he's responding to people saying, you're not going to the Olympics because you don't want to do a blood test where HGH would be picked up instead of in a urine test?
I think it's possible. I don't know that to be true, but when I was reading his remarks, I'm not going because of Zika, and then I heard him say something along the lines of, yes, well, no, he said, I'm going to watch the sports that matter, essentially saying it doesn't matter. To me, that's kickback at criticism. That's the way I viewed that. And nobody likes to be criticized, but golfers, I think, are particularly the most sensitive of athletes. They've never, ever been criticized like every other athlete has been criticized in every other sport. Golfers don't answer to anybody. They don't have a coach to tell them what to do, and a manager doesn't tell them what to do. The PGA Tour acquiesces to everything they demand. The media acquiesces. They don't get criticized. So they're very sensitive to it. I thought that was more along the lines, the way I looked at it, was kickback to criticism that he felt like, and I believe, if I believe as well, that the criticism would have been unjustified. It's enough for me that he didn't want to go because of Zika. I get that. That would be enough for me. That'd be enough for Jordan, I think, even though he said, don't put those words in my mouth. Health concerns would be enough for me.
Yeah.
But the fact is he didn't clear it up for us. Why the change of opinion? Why the change of attitude? Because there certainly was a different attitude between Rory choosing not to play because of Zika and then saying essentially that it doesn't matter.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.